Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Today we're taking a look at Wake Island. There's been a few updates and a response to the latest TTK passive spotting patch that's divided the community in a big way. But first, I wanted to show you some Easter egg stuff on Wake Island that we've been trying to solve today. So the first thing is, if you come to the barracks here, as you enter the room, there's nothing on the tables at all. But if you shoot the 5 coconuts in the room, then this thing spawns on the table. And if you look at it, it's actually a game of what looks like Dungeons and Dragons. So you've got the classic T-Rex or Velociraptor model that's been in multiple Battlefield games now. And it looks like they're the dungeon master, and there's some notes there, some objectives, and then you've got all the different players sat at each part of the table. And they've all got different names. Their character sheets look quite accurate, and of course you've got the game itself going on in the middle. You can see there's some dice there too. Kind of interesting. This could be something more, or it could be just a little reference to the developers who made the map. Maybe in their spare time they just played a bit of Dungeons and Dragons. Did they play Dungeons and Dragons in World War II in the Pacific? I've got absolutely no idea. Let me know down below. Now, the other big Easter egg thing that's been going on today is the crabs. No, not that kind of crabs. You don't need to go to the doctor and get checked out. You're okay, man. But these crabs. So there are lots of random spawn locations on the map for crabs. And some of the crabs, when you walk up to them, they just instantly burrow into the ground. But other ones, you go up to them and they make clicking sounds, and then they burrow into the ground. But if you listen carefully, it's actually part of the Battlefield theme. So this is a bit weird. Well, do you guys remember the BF3 remake of Wake Island, where on the very tip, in exactly the same place, as far as I recall, is a plaque that says it's dedicated to all the people who've played and fought on the island through every Battlefield game. Well, that's back again, but this time there's a crab in front of it. And you can't interact with that crab, it doesn't do anything. But if you manage to find a crab that buries into the ground after it's done a few clicks, it will then appear on this plaque and it starts to make the shape of a circle. So we've been spending most of the day today, because we're massive nerds, trying to find all these crabs, and some of them are in really cheeky hidden locations. They're not easy to see. Most of them have been by the beach though. If you manage to find enough crab spawns and fill the circle up, a pair of headphones and a gramophone will spawn next to it. You then take the headphones and go to an MCOM, which is hidden on another part of the map, and it will play Morse code. Now, at the moment, this is where the community is with the Easter egg. Is this the end? We don't know. There's been a few translations of it so far, but the Morse code here is kind of weird. Some people think it's Japanese, some think it's phonetic Japanese. I've seen a couple of different interpretations of this, but apparently this isn't the end of the search. I hope so, because I want this to be something cool, like a giant crab in the ocean with a knife or something. Or, you know, maybe we can have a Battlefield crab rave and see the crabs dancing. I just hope there's a big payoff, because we've been spending the whole day doing this. Now, one thing you may have noticed on Wake Island is that you can build snowmen if you've got your fortification tool. I think there's like 6 or 7 different snowmen, and at first we thought that this may have been related to the Easter egg stuff, but it's actually part of a community mission, it seems, where you can get some cosmetic rewards. There's the unexpected gift melee weapon, which is a baseball bat covered in Christmas wrap, and then there's a couple of Christmas looking skins that are coming to the game later too. One of them is the mistletoe headgear, and there's also the holiday collection bundle. So if you want to spend money to look like an elf on the battlefield, you can do that. But I'm not interested in that. Now, as I said at the start of the video, DICE have done a community broadcast in response to the 5.2 patch, which changed all the damage values. And this is a massive post where they've detailed everything that's changed, and they've even shared a Google Docs spreadsheet with all of the data about the guns and how many bullets they take to kill, anything that's being changed, like the rate of fire, if there's any recoil changes, and you can see what's coming in the hotfix. They say soon. I'm guessing it will be next week sometime, or the week after, hopefully before Christmas, and you can compare it to 5.2, which is currently live. Now, I'm not going to go through all of the changes that they've made, but the TLDR in there I think is quite straightforward. And they've said that with the changes to the feedback that was shared with them, with DICE, the bullet to kill values on guns which have been too heavily impacted by the recent TTK 5.2 update will change both up close and at range. They said that we've told them that we don't like the way some of the guns behave since update 5.2, and they're keen to acknowledge the weapons that they got wrong. So that means that some of the weapons that just became irrelevant because of the new update, like taking 10 to 13 bullets to kill at distance, they are actually changing that and bringing them back towards what they were before. It's not a complete revert of the changes to damage. Like, they're not just going back to how the TTK and the guns were before, but they're definitely reining them in from how ridiculous they'd got, which is a great thing. So it looks like this is a bit of a compromise when it comes to the damage. And like I said, you can take a look at the spreadsheet yourself and see exactly what they're changing and what they're leaving alone. It's obvious that they still want to extend the time to kill a little bit from where it was before. And while this isn't as extreme as it was, I still need to play with these other weapons that they've changed and just see how do they feel now. Is it in a good place or not? I don't know. But fingers crossed that comes next week, because I think what happened with 5.2, obviously there was many oversights there, and I'm glad that they've addressed this straight away, although I still think the whole thing was completely unnecessary and it's created nothing but an absolute mess for the game when it just felt like it was on the way back up. But there we go, that's last week's story. We'll see when the hotfix is out how things feel. Now, in regards to the enemy acquisition icons, which appeared when you were in close proximity to enemy players, so you just walk in a room, you don't have to be looking at someone, and a red dot would appear above their head. I really disliked it. I thought that it's really just dumbing the game down. But thankfully, they've said in this post that they believe it's the best to just remove this system and move on without it. So that's a thumbs up from me. I don't think this was needed. And they also said that they're making changes to the icons that activate when you're aiming directly at the soldier. And they're lowering the activation range to 20 meters. They're improving how it behaves when enemies aren't truly visible. And they're narrowing the angle, the field of view that determines when that icon appears. And they say that this is in direct response to the feedback that the community shared with them on the system. And it's to offset the removal of passive spotting. So it looks like part of that system is just being removed. Brilliant. And the other part of it is being toned down. They're also testing improvements to smoke grenades. I've seen plenty of clips and bugs in the past and recently of people being spotted through smoke. And DICE have said that they're now going to make a concerted effort to look at problems with that and hopefully stop people from being spotted and visible to you through smoke and particle effects, which isn't good. And of course, I know there was a big bug on Xbox where the new icons were actually appearing through walls and behind fences and stuff, and they say that they will address that too. And finally, the TLDR is that there's some general performance updates coming, and they say that they fixed a load of issues with end of rounds and reports, unlocking progression, that kind of stuff. But like I said, this is a massive post. It's full of data and information, and they've explained some of their reasoning, I suppose, and responded to some of the reaction that's happened since that 5.2 patch dropped. Hopefully DICE as a company can look at this and go, okay, maybe this was a bad idea and it needed more testing, and if we're going to completely change the way the game plays and feels, we should try and do it before it's released rather than a year later. It needed more testing and feedback, and it was just crowbarred in there again. It's the second time this has happened. It just really baffles me, but it happened. Now then, also in today's update, you can unlock the BAR. I haven't actually had the chance to play the game properly yet because I've just been looking for Easter eggs the whole day. Literally, I woke up at like 9:30, had breakfast, and then from 10 a.m. till about 6:45 p.m. I've just been playing with my friends on my own server and looking for crabs and trying to figure this stuff out along with the Easter egg Discord. So I haven't unlocked the BAR yet. I'll probably do a video on it tomorrow because I'm interested to see how it plays. I did get to use it back in September, I think it was. I went to DICE in September or early October when they let us play and record the Pacific maps for the first time, and they had the BAR in the game then. And it felt pretty good to me. It's got like a really fast mode and then a slower firing mode if you want to be a bit more accurate. I don't know how it's going to feel with the new time to kill and new damage values though. I hope it's not being completely nerfed into the floor. I assume not, with it being a new gun, but that will be tomorrow, so look out for that. I might do a new episode of Across the Battlefield where I've unlocked the BAR already and then we just play a nice round of Wake. That's about it for today, guys. As always, I will keep you updated on Easter egg stuff if anything crazy happens. I want to see a massive crab in the sea take down and destroy it with a knife. If we don't get that, I'm sorely disappointed. With that said, I hope you enjoyed the video today, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you liked it, leave a like. If you didn't, a dislike. Subscribe if you want to see more like this. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one.